Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aniket and I'm back with another fresh informative video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you 10 exact words जो बहुत generic हैं, जो बहुत common हैं, and you should never use them because of two specific reasons. Number one, they are very informal. In IELTS writing, specifically task 2, you should be focusing on formal words that will boost your band score. Informal words are not allowed to use, and if you use these words, you won't be getting high band score. So that is the number one reason. Number two reason are, even if they're not informal, they're very generic. Most of the students use it, and hence if you use the same words, the examiner will put you in the generic category, जिसमें मतलब आप वही words use कर रहे हो जो बाकी students भी use कर रहे हैं, and that is why you lose your competitive edge. आपको उसी तरह का band मिलेगा जो बाकियों को मिल रहा है. That is why these are the two reasons you should never use these particular 10 words. वीडियो को पूरा देखना, चैनल पर नहीं हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो, वीडियो को पहले ही लाइक कर दो because a lot of useful information is coming on your way. And without any further bullshit, let's jump into the video. The first word which you should never use in your IELTS writing, specifically task 2, is in a nutshell. Yes, जब भी आप एक concluding paragraph लिख रहे हो, students का tendency रहता है कि वो in a nutshell को use करें because for students it seems quite attractive but it is not. It is too informal to be used in IELTS writing, and आप in a nutshell को replace कर सकते हो with to conclude, in conclusion, or to recapitulate. Recapitulate is a very attractive word. It's genuinely attractive and you can use it to boost your band score right away, okay? But in a nutshell is completely not eligible. You should never use that. The second word which you should be avoiding in your IELTS writing task 2 is so on or etc. बहुत use करते हैं लोग. Students generally put so on and etc. at the end of the statement whenever they're describing something, the types of something or a variety of something, right? इसको avoid करना है. This is an informal approach to IELTS writing. इसके बदले आपको so on and etc. को replace करना with and. Example, पॉपुलर क्लोथिंग ब्रांड्स इंक्लूड ज़ारा, गुची, सो ऑन एटसेट्रा. ठीक है, हम लोग ये जनरल यूज़ करते हैं, इसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है. इट्स गुड फॉर एन एकेडमिक, ऐसे अगर आप स्कूल में कॉलेज में लिख रहे हो, इट्स परफेक्ट. बट फॉर IELTS राइटिंग विच इज़ एन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट, दिस इज कंप्लीटली इनफॉर्मल एंड नॉट एन एक्सेप्टेबल अप्रोच. आपको एंड से रिप्लेस करना है. पॉपुलर क्लोथिंग ब्रांड्स इंक्लूड ज़ारा एंड गुची, स्टेटमेंट खत्म. दैट इज द करेक्ट अप्रोच. अवॉइड सो ऑन एंड एक्सेट्रा एंड रिप्लेस इट विथ एंड. The third word which you should be avoiding is I think. You should replace I think with in my opinion or in my perspective. इससे आपको I think को replace करना है because I think is again informal and very generic. Most of the students use it and आपका competitive edge lose हो जाएगा if you use I think. Replace it with in my opinion and in my perspective. Example से समझेंगे. I think the weather is harsher in Norway as compared to Canada. Use in my opinion or in my perspective, the weather in Norway is harsher in comparison to Canada. This is the perfect formal approach to boost your band score, and the wrong approach is I think the weather is harsher in Norway as compared to Canada. You got my point, right? The next word you should be avoiding is money. Yes, surprisingly it's money because money is too generic and common, and सभी लोग money use करते, they don't know replacement for money. Cash is there but cash again is informal. So what's the solution? There is a very catchy and specific word to replace money with, and it's remuneration. Remuneration, R-E-M-U, narration, N-E-R-A-T-I-O-N, remuneration, okay? Usage क्या है? Usage is most people work for money, या फिर most employees in a company work for money. Money को replace करना है because money is informal, and the replacement is most people work for remuneration. Most people या फिर most employees work for remuneration, or Rakesh is working for remuneration. This is the perfect approach, perfect word to replace money with, and remuneration का मतलब है payment, any kind of payment that is given to a person, and in return of the payment he is doing a work, a particular work for a boss or for a company. That's it. This is the correct replacement for money, and you should never use money. Use remuneration. The next word that you should be avoiding is poor. Yes, poor का बहुत common usage है and generally most students use it, but poor का एक बहुत catchy synonym है जो आपको शायद पता होगा या फिर नहीं भी पता हो सकता है. That is underprivileged. Yes, underprivileged. Poor के जगह आपको underprivileged use करना है because it's a band 8 vocabulary, and if you use this word in replacement of poor whenever you're going to use poor, then it will be boosting your band score like anything. ठीक है, underprivileged is the word and usage समझ लेते हैं. Kids in African countries are poor. Kids in African countries are poor. Poor को use नहीं करना है. Replacement क्या है? Africa has mostly underprivileged kids. Kids भी use नहीं करना. You should be replacing kids with children. The correct statement perfectly is Africa has mostly underprivileged children. That is the perfect approach. Kids को avoid करो, poor को avoid करो. Underprivileged is the replacement for poor, and children is the replacement for kids. You got my point, right? The next word is also. Also use नहीं करना. You can replace also with in addition, moreover, furthermore. ठीक है, I won't be explaining with an example because also you can put it anywhere in between statements, complex statements, anywhere. Also has a very generic usage, but just the thing you should be making sure of is also use नहीं करना है. Also की जगह you can use in addition to, additionally, furthermore या फिर moreover, and then continue the rest of the statement. That's it. The next word that you should be avoiding is cheap. Yes, you heard it right, but cheap is a very common and generic word. आपको avoid करना, use नहीं करना है IELTS writing task 2 में specifically. There's a replacement for it. Example से समझेंगे. The first example is that restaurant right there offers cheap food. This is a perfect statement, but if you use this in IELTS writing task 2, your band score will go low. What you can do is there's a replacement. You can say the restaurant right there has very inexpensive food. या फिर that restaurant right there offers inexpensive food. ठीक है, inexpensive is the word, it's the replacement for poor, and it's a formal word. 8 band vocabulary, you can use it to boost your band score. Whenever you're going to use cheap, use inexpensive. The next word that you should be avoiding is lot of or lots of. Lot of tickets were sold on the first day. You should be avoiding these kind of statements, and you should avoid the usage of lot of या फिर lots of. Use many instead. Many tickets were sold on the first day. Can you see the difference? Lot of tickets were sold on the first day. Many tickets were sold on the first day. The second one is the correct approach, the first one is wrong, and that will reduce your band score. The next thing that you should be keeping in mind is the usage of right or wrong. Right or wrong is a very informal approach. What you should replace it with is correct or incorrect. आपको right की जगह correct use करना है, wrong की जगह incorrect use करना है, and that is the perfect formal approach, and this will boost your band score. But if you use right or wrong, it's correct, but it will reduce your band score because it's very generic and informal. The 10th and the last word that you should never use in your IELTS writing task 2 is not really a word, it's a phrase. On the other hand, this is a phrase, and you should be replacing this particular phrase with a word, and the word is despite or however. On the other hand को despite or however से replace करना है. Never start a sentence with on the other hand. Rather, example से समझते हैं despite and however का usage कैसा होता है. Let's understand it with an example. Despite having less money, they enjoy life. ठीक है, they have little savings, however they do not fail to enjoy life. These are the usages of despite and however. Never start a sentence with on the other hand. It's correct, but again it will reduce your band score because it's informal, generic, and mostly used by every student, and you will lose your competitive edge if you use those common phrases in IELTS writing task 2. Before ending this video, if you're watching till now, you'll get a bonus tip, and that is never use any shortcuts or abbreviations like don't, can't, shouldn't, wouldn't. These are informal. You should be replacing all of these with do not, don't for do not for don't, cannot for can't, should not for shouldn't, and would not for wouldn't. Use no abbreviations, use full forms, and that will boost your band score. This is my final tip for this video. Alright guys, these were actually the words you should never use in your IELTS writing task. 1 or 2 doesn't really matter if you want a high band score and beat the competition, because the words I've said you not to use are very generic and mostly students use them. And if you use the same words in your IELTS writing task 1 or 2, then you'll be losing your competitive edge or advantage, and the examiner will put you in the generic category and give you generic bands, right? But if you want a higher band, you should keep in mind to use the replacement or the synonyms that I mentioned in this particular video. So have you noticed how minute changes can boost your band score? ज़्यादा जान के फायदा नहीं है, थोड़ा जानो, solid जानो, and that will help you boost your band score. Often the simple things reaps you biggest benefits in life. You should keep this quote in mind in every walk of your life. And अगर वीडियो पसंद है तो वीडियो को लाइक कर दो, चैनल पर नए हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में. Till then, stay awesome, stay sexy. It's Anikeshwa signing off for the day.